house. See you later, one. Into my gang Marak. Gang is alley or small street. We're back in Bali, back in Ubud, off on a big ride, first one. It's 6:30, sun's just come up. Got to watch out for the nasty dog, but it looks like the nasty dog isn't out of bed yet, which is a good sign. Lives in this gang. Okay, we've got to get out of town, but first stop, selamat pagi. First stop is a little breakfast. So nasi kuning, here we come. Okay, down the kind of the high street of Ubud, already getting busy. We'll return to the subject of traffic in a bit, but this ain't nothing what it's going to be like in a few hours. Anyway, now we have a little descent down this fantastic road, which I think will probably get a bit dark on camera, but it's like entering into the jungle. See all these aerial routes hanging down. Big trees growing out of the wall. All goes very dark for a minute, but it's only brief, and then we come out and we're going to cut through a little area called Penestanan, which involves a couple of sharp, steep little climbs, and hopefully we'll find some breakfast. I went to my usual nasi kuning place, but it was far too busy, so there's always another one round the corner over the bridge. Okay, nasi kuning, yellow rice. So a bit of rice, a bit of noodles, a bit of sambal, a bit of this, a bit of that. 5,000 rupiah, which is 25p. Makes a decent breakfast. Okay, breakfast done. We're on one of the main north roads out of Ubud. Unavoidable for 7 kilometers. We'll stick on this. Certainly be a bit of traffic, but it should be okay. And then after those 7 kilometers, we get off this onto quieter roads. The thing about Bali traffic, Ubud traffic, is that in town is awful. Out of town, there's basically 4 roads that are super busy that everyone uses, and then there's about 1,000 other roads that people don't use. So for cyclists, it's a pretty obvious solution. You do the busy roads when you need to, get out of town, and then into the quiet and the green. Not an unusual scene first thing in the morning. Okay, last bit of traffic and left turn here. Someone going the wrong way. Never changes. Woo. And on to the quiet road. Every house a temple. That's why they say there are more temples than houses in Bali, because you got the temples and then everyone's house is also a very pretty temple. So all these beautiful handmade decorations are still up from Nyepi, which was last week, New Year. Everything natural, made from bamboo and grasses. Nyepi is a very interesting phenomenon. So I did refer to it in my last video when I said the place I'm going to next is just observed 24 hours of silence, because Nyepi here, everyone stays home for 24 hours from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. No going out in the streets. Streets are policed, no tourists, nothing. No lights, no music. However, I did find last year we did have Wi-Fi. Modern times. So we're heading north. We're literally 100 meters west of the busy road, but here really just scooters going through people's neighborhoods, seeing early life, what people get up to in the morning, out doing their early shopping, dogs out in the street, kids on the way to school, that kind of thing. It's very nice to see Bali come to life in the morning. Okay, conditions are beautiful. As you can see, clear blue skies, temperature's about 23 degrees right now. It is humid, I'm already sweating, and it's going to get very hot by midday, but that's the price you have to pay. Yeah, so when you're going east-west, as we are now, you have to cross these very severe ravines, as I call them. I think ravine is the word, so very steep down. Cross a little bridge at the bottom, no doubt. Might be a temple there, normally is. Often is, yeah. Very steep, sort of 20% normally. Down, no temple at this one. Over the bridge. And then straight into a killer, several hundred meters, 20% climb on the other side. And if you're doing a few miles east-west, you'll probably just get a series of these ravines. Not easy. The volcanoes in the distance. Yeah, so the basic layout of Bali is big volcanoes in the north. Bedugul, Patur and Agung is the biggest. And then the island just sort of slopes down from there, steeply at first, and then gently all the way down south to the beach area. Not my favourite area, Kuta, Seminyak, all that business, and then also drops off the other side. The volcanoes are in the north, but not right on the north coast, so it drops down even steeper the other side, down to the much quieter north coast. But we're currently riding all the way up to the volcanoes. We're going to go up and over, so 35k climb from Ubud. Okay, so plan for today is this. 35k climb, not as bad as it sounds. Yeah, a lot of it, just a few percent of incline until the last bit, which is killer. Now, ordinarily, I do this climb, go up to Kintamani, which is on the lip of the, is it Caldera or Caldera? The big bowl of the volcano. Ride around a little bit, take some photos, have a drink, and then ride back down. Easy, well, relatively easy. However, today, for your delectation, we're going to ride up, going to ride down the north side, turn round, and then come up what has been described to me as a horror of a climb. Can't wait. Okay, let's get one thing straight. Bali is paradise. Yeah, there's too much traffic in places, way too many tourists, especially down south, too much development. I'm sure it's changed indelibly over the last 20 or 30 years, but despite that, it is still one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I mean, it's the most beautiful place I've ever been. It's just incredible. Now if you just come as a regular tourist, yeah, you'll do touristy things. You'll go out in tourist vehicles, driving up the same busy roads, going to the same waterfalls, same hot springs, blah blah blah. But if you're on your own steam, cycling, for example, you can see the Bali that very few other tourists get to see, and it is stunningly beautiful. As you'll have spotted, it's another New Jersey day. Yay. Yeah, I was keeping this one. Oh, a couple of butterflies attacking me. Yeah, I was keeping this one for a special occasion. I think first video in Bali is that. It's Monton again, still angling for that sponsorship. Here's a nice view of the volcanoes. That's Bedugal. We're heading a little bit more north. That's got to be a lovely place for a retreat, looking out over the volcanoes. Through the gates. I always think of those traditional Balinese entryways as a sort of gateway to another dimension. It's just starting to cloud over, that's a good sign. As I say, it's not crazily hot out because it's now about 25, 26, because as the day progresses and the sun gets up, I've been climbing constantly. We're now at 1,000 meters, so it's definitely going to be cool. It's not this climb I'm worried about, it's the next one, which will be... Here's another lovely road entrance. A lot of the roads are named, and they often have a sort of deity guarding the entrance, and this one's got the wonderful split gates with a lovely view over to Bedugal in the distance. Someone trying to get through. So road surfaces here can be like this one, complete with chickens, but you know, very nice, smooth, freshly asphalted. Or they can be like this, where basically the whole top layer has just slid off the road. Yeah, so that's why I'd advise cyclists coming here, well, bring a gravel bike if you can. If not, just fit the biggest tyres you can, because there will be moments, little gingerkin, probably when you're gunning downhill on a perfectly paved road, when suddenly it isn't perfectly paved. Nice little sports car. Paggy. Oh, Porsche, lovely. Okay, we're into the very last bit of the climb. A drone following me. The flora suddenly changed, suddenly into the pine trees. Very pretty. Nice bit of shade. But it's about to get very steep for the next few kilometers into the segment known as the Hanging Gardens, which is feels very appropriate. I believe the name is given to it by a hotel up here of that name, but it does feel like suddenly up in the hills. We're over 1,200 meters up, a couple of hundred meters more to climb, then we'll take a little break, have a sandwich, have a cold drink, admire the volcanoes, and then it's all the way down the other side. Okay, as the morning has progressed, it has got a bit hazy out, unfortunately, but that in the distance, you can probably just see through the haze and the sun, is Mount Batur. So that's a volcano within a volcano, because this is the whole caldera, that's how I'm going to pronounce it, and that's like a new volcano or two inside the caldera, so it's quite a big one. Anyway, so we're going to ride all the way around. We've got a little bit more climbing to do, and then down the other side, but yeah, I'll stop for a drink first. So it's not just the natural beauty of Bali, but the cultural, religious, architectural beauty, and those are not three separate things. In Bali, you cannot separate religion, culture and architecture. It's all one beautiful combination. Okay, we're right at the top, about 1600 meters up. We've done 1600 meters of climbing in about 40 kilometers. Now we're going to descend the other side, turn around and come back up and do the same amount of ascent, 1600 meters or so, in 13 kilometers. So that's basically 3 times steeper. Coming through this little town, there's a ceremony going on. Ceremonies are not an unusual activity here. There's always some sort of ceremony for all the offerings. Big old trees come down. Very old tree. Okay, into the downhill. Pretty steep in places. Well, very steep in places. Very green. Definitely overcast. Cloudy, slightly chilly, I have to say. That won't be the case as we get right down to the coast in a few kilometers. Down to the north coast, whereupon we'll turn around and come all the way back up. Okay, down almost to the north coast. That's the north coast road that goes all the way along to Singaraja and round, that I've done before. But I passed this climb, I didn't know this climb existed. So here it is. Tejakula climb to main road. So back up to where I came from. 14 kilometers, 1265 meters of climbing, average 9%. Doesn't sound too bad, average 9%, but it is. I know there were quite a few downhill sections in it, so it's gonna be 15-20 in points. I can see it gets cloudier and mistier near the top, which will be a good thing because down here at sea level it's very hot and very humid. I'm already sweating buckets. My computer shows me the nearest time to the speed I'm going, and that is Carl Young, a friend of mine who was here last year when I was here. He did this by himself though. I remember him telling me it was an absolute horror. Okay, it's clouded over very quickly, which is great news. Still humid as fuckery, but that sun beating down. That was hot. Okay, so let's get up a bit higher. Still only a kilometre or two in, but as we go up, it'll get cooler, and then at some point we'll feel cold. Okay, it might be a little bit cooler, but it's still over 30, and humidity's got to be 100%. And with 20% ramps like this one, it's definitely living up to its reputation. Okay, we did want it cloudy, we did want it overcast. However, it is now starting to rain. Got to be careful what you wish for. Okay, rain's really coming down now. The age-old question, do I stop and take shelter or just keep going? Well, who knows how long it's going to go on for. I got caught in a storm last year with Carl that was, I've never ridden anything like it, but it went on for hours, so I say we just keep on going. Durian trees, I've never seen them on the tree before, and protected by black bags. It's not really working though, is it, guys? Anyway, as I've said, not my favourite fruit. Beautiful temple door, look at that, lovely work. A rare little downhill bit in the climb, about halfway up the climb now. Rain has stopped, definitely cooler, still sweating like a sweaty thing. Okay, 1k to go. Sun's come out. It's midday, so even 1300 meters up, still quite hot. But I don't think it's going to stay out. Yeah, check out that cloud. Okay, 900 to go. but it's all steep to the end. And we're up 1 hour 35. I'll take that. That's a long time just climbing. That was a brute of a climb, as promised. Ay, ay, ay. Not helped by the heat and humidity. Certainly not helped by having to do a 1500 meter climb just to get to it. But yeah, that has to be one of the tougher ones on Bali. Into Indomaret for a cold drink, I think. And a sit down. Woo! 6 with sweat. That's just out of my gloves. Okay, 10,000 rupiah, which is like 50p, buys me half a litre of iced tea, nice sweet cold iced tea, and half a litre of water. So that's not bad. That should be enough to get me down. It's a little bit more of a climb up, and then long way, 40k descent all the way down to Ubud, and some lunch. Okay, we're at the top. It's pissing down. Has been for a while. So I've gone from very hot to suddenly wet and cold. So I'm going to stop here for 2 seconds, hide my electronics from the rain, and then start the descent down this way. We've done 3,200 meters of climbing in 88 kilometers. That is a crazy amount. So down this way, about 40k, and we'll be warm and fed. Okay, we're back in Ubud. I couldn't film for the last 40k for the simple reason that it was absolutely tipping it down. Full on tropical storms. Road became a river. At some point you get so wet it doesn't really matter anymore. You just keep going. But does start to get a bit chilly at altitude, so best thing, just keep descending, which I did. So now I'm warm and dry again, except for my feet. Not my feet. It's like 3 o'clock, so the afternoon rush hour has started. We get to see all the horror of Ubud traffic. Just push down the wrong lane. I have to do a bit of pavement work. Yeah, there's our chance. Advantage of the bicycle. Okay, past big tree. Everybody knows where you mean when you say big tree, because that is a big old tree, and right next to it is our lunch spot, Masakan Padang, Puteri Minang, the best of its kind. Don't you even think about pulling out, boy. I need my food. There it is, Puteri Minang. Okay, Masakan Padang, Muslim food from Sumatra, I believe. They always look the same, they're always called the same, but this one's special because it does a very good range of foods, a lot of them not meaty, and they don't fuck with you with the prices, which a lot of them can do. Let's see what they've got. Helmet off, and she knows me here already now. Hello. Hello. Nasi. See what we've got. Bit of beef rendang, chicken, potatoes, all sorts of good shit. Corn fritters, had those the other day. Bit of omelette, tempeh, fantastic. So you just choose whatever you want, and they make up a price. That's why you've got to be able to trust them. Okay, we got a bit of omelette, white rice, sort of stewed aubergine, very nice. Some sort of fritter, and so mostly vegan, and then a bit of beef rendang, because the beef rendang is fucking good. Salty and coconutty and sweet. If I could just have the sauce, I'd probably just have the sauce. And then a bit of spicy red and green chili sauce. Oh man, I am hungry. Back into Gang Merak, my little street. I inhaled that food. Lasted about a minute. Suspect I'm going to be hungry again later. That was basically, I think, about a 9-hour ride on one little nasi kuning and a peanut butter sandwich. minimal. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that introduction to Bali. There's going to be plenty more. I think next week we'll get on the gravel and really get into the rice fields. Just nodding at the neighbour who recognises me. I hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up as ever, and see you all soon on today's ride.